So happy to be here with you always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at holistic wellness, specifically Ayurveda, kind of just where we're at as a collective energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. We'll have a little bit different format than the normal readings. This is a component to the channel that I'm working to get up and running. Ideally, I'm aiming for Saturday mornings. It just has not happened quite yet. So stay tuned, but we'll start off with an energy cleansing. Like I talked about, I am going to use the astrology. In your astrology chart, when we're talking about our own specific health, well-being, etc., those are things that we're going to be able to easily or more easily identify via our own chart, because it is kind of contingent on house placements, where the zodiac signs are, etc. So this won't necessarily be specific, right? It's a general reading. Just keep that in mind. We'll look at the general collective overall health and wellness right now, the temperature of that. Always on live readings, you can definitely drop comments in the chat below. I love to interact, engage with the community. Definitely ask questions if something pops up for you. I'm going to try not to get too specific right now. We'll save that for a future recording live. So stay tuned for that as well. Hey, Karen, so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for your lovely message. Oh, yeah. I know, it's crazy. It's been snowing on my side of town as well, and it's just been insane. It's actually been kind of nice. I've really been enjoying just the snowy winter. I feel like we didn't really get it a lot last year. I got to go sledding with my son, which was so much fun the other day, and kind of just brings out or reconnects us with that just cozy, comfy vibes, right? Even if you're not going out and doing snow activities. I love being in the house where it's warm, and if you have a fireplace or anything good like that, it's just such a good time of year. It's a really good time of year too, when we're talking about health and wellness, to focus on ourselves. This season is about going within. Winter months bring that kind of hermit hibernation type energy. And it is so that we can rebalance, reset, realign, get really clear on how we want things to look. We're at the tail end of Sagittarius season. It's going to be here for the next 10 days or so. So we still kind of have that fire energy. Everything's kind of pumped up, and the holidays and parties and all that stuff. But then obviously we all know as soon as we move into January, it can definitely be those hibernation and hermit vibes. So keep that in mind. It's good right now. We have been asked to slow down in a lot of different areas. We're also being asked to get clear on what we want, how we want things to look for us in our life, etc. So those are all really good things, positive things to focus on during this time of year as well, if you have extra time and space. Not all of us do, right? It can be a really chaotic time of year. Okay, with that, I'm going to start off with an energy cleanse just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might feel blocked or limited. It's a really good time to set your own intention as well, especially if you do have something on your heart, mind, something you want spirit to deliver messages to you around, especially related to your health, your well-being, etc. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. Spirit's always looking to speak to us. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are looking for more of a realignment of self, your mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations, which I'll talk a lot about today. If you're not familiar, it's a really beautiful form of just nurturing, loving, taking care, honoring, and sacrament to your body, mind, soul. So definitely hit me up if you're interested. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. Mama Love. Amen. All right, so I'm hearing, and I'm not just trying to be redundant by saying this, but legit, and I'll kind of explain why, but I am kind of feeling like this anxiousness coming from you, or the energy, you know. There's a lot of things that are like hanging in the balance. We're dealing with a lot of different dichotomies. I've been talking a lot about just the difficulty of the transition from Scorpio season to Sagittarius season. And there still are like some reverberations of that. And specifically as it relates to our health and well-being. So in the zodiac, Virgo, which rules the 6th house, it's earth energy. It does focus more on our health and our wellness. How we are actually implementing that into our daily routine, into our daily lives. And unfortunately, right now, the South Node is in Virgo and it's in conjunction, or I should say beginning of the week. I'm going to do like weekly energies-ish. Yeah, just always take what resonates, leave the rest behind is what I want to say. But it's in conjunction with the vertex point. So the vertex point is a lot about like, it's either like fate or like this is just what's meant to happen in your life. Like it's fated, it's meant to be, you can't avoid it. And the vertex point has kind of been resisting long-term situations, people, places, dynamics, coming to head, essentially like hashing things out. There's a lot of things that are being left unsaid. There are a lot of things that are being kind of like either swept under the rug or hoping they don't get found out, etc. And I'm not specifically saying that from your energy. I'm saying that's like in the collective right now. And with Virgo, there is a natural tendency to resort back to old habits, patterns, especially things that make us feel comfortable. 100%. I love this. I love that this dog is our overarching energy because it is about like kind of where we've given our loyalties to. The other symbolism is belonging. And I think right now, what's the hardest point of change that we're coming across is it is challenging us on some things that are a little bit more difficult or we're not really ready to let go of, or we really wished it would have been something else, but it's not, right? And we have to kind of recognize specifically what those things are so we're not bringing on any more frustration, angst, etc. Maharishi Ayurveda talks about or looks at health and wellness through the lens of self-referral consciousness, meaning the more we honor our mind, our body, our soul, the more we become a vessel for happiness, bliss, fulfillment, living a life that feels in alignment with what we want, with what we need, and not necessarily shortchanging the desires of our heart because we think that's all we can get or that is what we are loyal to. And really, I did the zodiac readings for the month of December. Definitely check those out if you're interested. It talks a lot about how, again, that highlighting of, like, is this situation, is this person, is this dynamic really honoring me? Or, like, are there some kind of controlling, manipulative, hidden things going on in the background that really are just, like, preventing me from aligning with what I want, with what I need, etc. So, kudzu, this is such a really empowering, well, it can be used in a lot of different forms, culinary speaking. I was going to also, sorry, as a side note, I just thought of this. I will upload a video on, like, my background, my credentials. I don't know if, like, people care about that, but yeah, I meant to do it at the beginning of this. I'm, you know, not just some, like, crackpot, but stay tuned is what I should say. So kudzu is, it's like a strengthening agent. It's a binder in the culinary world, and it symbolizes abundant growth and willpower. We've been talking a lot about, that's been coming up in our abundance readings on Sunday Funday, where when we kind of invest more energy into the negative, into the things that are draining or depleting our energy, it really does limit our ability to grow, our ability to have strength, to push forward. And so I feel like a lot of, like, what this week is about that component of nurturing yourself, supporting yourself, making sure that you have a strong foundation set for yourself. Ayurveda looks at this as the Kapha dosha. Kapha is about building strength, structure, cohesion, especially, like, in our physiology, but that can also just be strength of mind. How often people, situations can play off of our mind or try to do mind games, especially because there is that dishonesty in the air. And like I said, with Virgo, the South Node and the vertex point, it can kind of be like, well, I'm not going to go too deep, or I'm not going to look at this too much because it's, like, comfy cozy right now. Ironically, what I was talking about originally, right? And that's where it can kind of get us into trouble. And I'm seeing that vertex point as if we continually rely on what feels safe or what we know, we can sacrifice some of our balance, some of our stability. I love this. Peach symbolizes fertility and love. So we're kind of coming off of a little bit of a rough week. Astrologically, the transits have been, I think, the most tense that they're going to be for the rest of the month. And I think a lot of this goes back to people, situations that are trying to test the limits, is what I'm hearing for you. Trying to see how strong you are, how strong you've become. Again, just kind of confirming that principle Ayurveda talks about with Kapha. So how can we do that? I mean, this is that value, like I've been preaching about incessantly, of just slowing down, making sure that you're planning out time in your daily routine for some self-care habits, you know, and you can gauge it depending on what you're feeling in that moment. And that is really setting the stage for something empowering that is coming in. Especially with, well, it's interesting. So the peach is 38, which breaks down to 11. And 11 is a master number. It's like when we kind of hit those sweet spots in our life where it's like, yeah, I got my shit together. It feels good. Even if you're not exactly where you want to be 100%. It's just like when we're in the flow, when we're in the vibe, when we're really kind of emanating abundance, and not specifically related or connected to, you know, like some type of monetary wealth. You know, it's like authentic abundance, right? It can be all those things, all those components. Money, love, compassion. Well, those are, sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. I'll just can it while I'm ahead. Okay, so instrument. So refining, honing your instrument, self-expression, speaking the truth. So it looks like this week, health-wise, it's really good for you to, the reason you're slowing down, the reason it's beneficial is because it's actually going to help you navigate when you do have to speak up, when you do have to have tough conversations, when you do need to have your mental and emotional wits about you. Let's see what's in our blocked energy for the week. And so kapha is also about having like really grounding, like if we want to talk about food, this can be like grounding vegetables, root vegetables, things that keep us connected to the earth. Sweet taste definitely enliven the kapha dosha. It doesn't have to be sugar. It just is like things that are sweet in taste, like whole grains, rice, basmati rice is a huge. Ghee is such a medicinal healer. And you can always toss it in with like steam some vegetables or some grains and toss some ghee in. And ghee is, like I said, it's one of the most powerful medicines. It goes down to the deepest layer of our cellular intelligence and it can cleanse out impurities. So Ayurveda is huge into that. And when we kind of are taking care of ourselves, moving a little bit slower, nourishing our body appropriately, that's where we do, again, we find that stability and then we're able to connect with our fertility. So we have the King of Pentacles popping up. I love this. This is really mirroring what I'm talking about. It's earth energy. It's also with sweetgrass. This is such a beautiful deck too. I'm trying to use all herbal decks. Yeah. Or in nature, herbal nature decks. But this is called the Herbcrafters Tarot, and it has a lot of really beautiful symbolism. And sweetgrass is bringing in our abundance, right? It is kind of confirming exactly what we're seeing with this peach. So I feel like beginning of the week, and the Lovers just popped out as well. I'm going to put it back in though. So beginning of the week, you're kind of just taking care of yourself. And it looks like you're only choosing, I think that who and what are getting your loyalties is heavily in focus right now. Kudzu is giving you that ability to kind of sift through where to put your time and attention. And I think that's important. Sorry if I'm being a little redundant. But I feel like this King of Pentacles is coming in. It's a new energy for you. It's something that you are asking for. It is a manifestation. 10 of Earth. I love this. And again, this really just signifies what you've been building, what you've been doing behind the scenes. Again, even if you've been feeling like you've been hitting roadblocks left and right, you know, whatever you're doing is working. And I'm even hearing it's like a slow burn, right? It's something that takes its time. Maybe it has been hard to see results or any fruits of your labor, but something this week is starting to bring that in, which I really love this energy for you. I feel like it's hard for you to get excited. You're either not really open to the opportunity. Let me explain what I mean by that. Like, you're not looking for this. You're not expecting it. I would say keep your head up wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Check emails, things like that. Maybe accounts that you don't always check, whatever. Just kind of keep on top of things. You'll have a little extra time as you're cultivating, like just giving yourself some extra space this week. And even if you are really busy, well, one of my favorite things about Ayurveda, specifically Maharishi Ayurveda, is the addition of transcendental meditation, which is essentially meditation with a mantra. It's not anything crazy weird, but it's like one of the most beautiful, effective ways of bringing our physiology down into, or, you know, into like this silent wakefulness is what they call it. And it allows the body to like naturally realign. So if you have a really busy schedule, what I'm getting at is if you have a really busy schedule and you can't, carve a whole lot of time out, there are these simple techniques, meditating, pranayamic breathing, alternate nostril breathing. It helps realign the right and left hemisphere, yoga asana poses, even just doing some mindfulness practices, reading affirmations. If you're religious, whatever kind of vibe, the Bible, whatever you ascribe to, just, it's like filling up. In Ayurveda, they're called behavioral rasanas, right? They're things that we should kind of ascribe to. It's like morals, values, etc. And it just keeps our head up. Even though there are things that we're trying to strengthen ourselves around, even though there are things that feel a little bit heavy or impossible, right? Or no matter how much we do put the time, faith, effort into something, it's just like the same results over and over and over again. Something beautiful is happening behind the scenes. And it looks like it's coming out this week. It looks like whatever this is. So Earth energy is Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. We have the Star. This is someone who is bringing healing energy. It might not be apparent on the surface, again, because like you're just in your own world, whatever this means for you. Like I said, just try to keep your head up, try to like rest, give yourself, your body what you need throughout the week. It's going to prepare you to be prepared to whatever capacity for whomever, whatever this is trying to connect with you. It does feel like a new energy, but this could be something that you do already know, because like I said, you're kind of in your own world. 6 of Fire is in your blocked energy. So you're kind of like doing your own thing. You're focused on your own stuff. And again, that's where it's like, just make sure to kind of be aware of your surroundings, especially when you are out and about, running into people, right place, right time, etc. It makes sense, okay? Because I feel like this is someone who is either intending to run into you, intending to connect with you, starting the initial conversation, but they also have a lot going on. There might be some reasons as to why they haven't come in quite yet. Again, this is collective energy. So we're all in our own way, kind of rebuilding our strength, our resources, and specifically as it relates to community dynamics, teamwork, people that are willing to work with us, right? Like we've been talking a lot about that. I feel like we're kind of moving away from that energy of deciphering between like where we do need to, who and what is worthy of that. But I feel like this interaction wakes you up a little bit. Ace of Cups. We have plantain. Plantain is incredibly medicinal. It's like a very good wound healer, what I love. And this person's situation is coming in as the Star. So it feels like confirmation on, what this is twofold. It's like whatever you're trying to heal from, whatever you're trying to move past, whatever toxicity you're leaving behind, it's healing, it's growing, you're evolving, you're busting your butt to like get to that next place, whatever that looks like for you. And you're getting confirmation of it this week. I think this, like I said, maybe this dynamic takes a minute to get off the ground. And again, like you recognize it as something, but I think you've also been pretty disappointed in the past or up until this point, or like you're just in this vibe of like, I don't want to get my hopes up too much, right? What I love though, as I'm saying this, I'm just reminded how, what is it? The 19th, let me just pull up my chart. The 19th, the 19th, we have that new moon in Sagittarius. And this is all building up towards that new moon, right? Right now we're in the waning phases of the moon cycle, which is release. It is letting go. It is being able to go within and assess like what is really working for us. I feel like you're going to have something up and running. There's something that's starting. And I think this is something that you're going to be like kind of how I was talking about in the very beginning, of like winter and going with it. I mean, I guess it depends on where you're located in the world. Sorry, I'm not trying to be biased. But, you know, going within, really kind of doing that soul searching or deep dive, or, you know, so that you can, when the spring comes, be reborn. And I'm hearing like that period of time for you is going to be very creative. I feel like you're going to be investing in some type of energy, some type of tool you have to bring to the table that I do think it does feel like it has some type of monetary, whether that's money, some type of wealth attached to it, some type of something that's like, maybe even for you, this is like a legacy type vibe. This is something that you'll be passing on to future generations. I'm hearing that like whomever, whatever this King of Pentacles is it some type of investment in your future. Like I said, it does look like it starts off a little bit slow. And again, maybe that's where some of your skepticism is coming into play. Let's see where we hit midweek. Midweek, well, the South Node and the Vertex Point have separated. So I'm hearing just like moving a little bit slow. It's really hard this time of year because like we don't want to expend extra energy, you know. I was talking to someone the other day and it's like the calm before the storm, right? Even though life is like so busy, you know, it's insane outside. I do go out, I promise. But just, you know, it's busy everywhere, the roads, the stores, the traffic, you know, all the stuff, right? But it's not in this way to add more to your plate, because the process of you going about this is via this strong foundation, right? It is that value of how you are going to take care of yourself. And I feel like Virgo energy, we're kind of going back and forth. Virgo can be very undecided. It can spend a lot of time in the analytical. And to me, this manifests in real time as, you know, not being able to make a decision, right? Like always going back and forth, not being able to find any finality, not having much conviction, being wishy-washy in the energy. And that can also be an indirect or a hidden way that you might be loyal to the past, etc. It is that vibe. I mean, it does have this kind of like pseudo New Year's resolution type vibe, or that's the best example that's coming to my mind right now, where it's like we know we need to change certain things, and so we make some promises to ourselves that we'll do it, you know, beginning of the year or whatever. So it's basically like saying like, do that now, you know, do that now, and like whatever's coming in is going to start happening like ASAP. This person's situation is 9 of air, however, pomegranate. So someone's a little bit worried. Well, and this again kind of goes back to, I heard, oh, ye of little faith. I'm sorry. I'm not pointing the finger. I'm saying that in the way of like going back to that message of this taking time to evolve. Let's look at this on your end. Okay. You know, it's their own stuff. It's like they're coming into their own fears. You might have to speak up. I don't know if this is all happening super quickly this week. This could also be, as soon as you do speak up, someone's a little bit nervous. Like they might feel like let's see why. I'm hearing like nervous, like what they're offering you is a good thing. We have 5 of earth, the page of fire, page of wands, and 9 of pentacles, 9 of earth. I think what I'm hearing is like the King of Pentacles, whoever this is to you, wants a little bit more commitment, or, you know, you're coming in as the Queen of Swords, who is very rational in her approach and maybe in some ways leaves out the feeling. it can seem cold, it can seem harsh, right? But remember, we have past situations that are just influencing our decisions right now, what we are deciding, how we're deciding. It's good to move slow. I mean, I think that this situation isn't moving very fast, but I do think that you might be asking for a little bit more, or negotiating, readjusting, or, kind of getting, being really candid, being really transparent. I'm hearing like you're in this vibe where, because of where you're coming from, you are very picky and choosy about your loyalty. You're picky and choosy about what you are going to indulge in with people and with situations. And again, this is all related to, like, even if it's not about your physical health and wellness, like it's your mental, it's your emotional. We have to also have reserve for when we do have to deal with like people that kind of suck or whatever. We just don't vibe with. This is not one of those people. I feel like there's a little bit of a tester energy, and I don't think you're directly testing someone, but I do think you're questioning the holes that are either in the offer or in the, just kind of renegotiating, making sure that you're getting the value that you deserve, right? And this can even just be having the courage to tell someone, hey, this is how I feel. This is how this dynamic, affects me. Especially if it is something that is messing with your physical, mental, emotional well-being, right? It's on all ends. What I like is there's this like strengthening component. You're feeling a little bit stronger. You're feeling more self-assured. And even when maybe someone is questioning or, speaking out of fear, out of anxiety, you're still kind of maintaining yourself. People are going to find ways to work together if it's important, if it's valuable. And when they don't, that's really the answer right there. So Valerian, well, this actually makes a lot of sense. Valerian root, it's very, very good, especially if you have issues sleeping. It's great tea before bed. It's a little stanky, not unpalatable, but just has a little bit of a funk. But you can probably find it like in tea, like in a pre-baggie or something along those lines. But it's really good for calming the nervous system. It's used as like a sleep aid, and it's very good, especially for like places where we are having high anxiety or, we're nervous about how things are going to play out. Yes, this energy is coming more from whatever you're dealing with. But I also feel like this could be really good for you if you're having some sleep issues. Like I said, I should make the disclaimer, this is all just educational. Definitely talk to your physician or care provider. Educational purposes only, I should say. But we keep it natural here. So I'm not really sure off the top of my head if there are any contraindications to valerian root. But like I said, it's great for calming the nervous system. And, for the most part, I'm not going to lie, you do feel calm. Maybe whenever you do have to say what you need to say, it might be good to go in just with some peace of mind. Like I said, you can do some breathing techniques. You can do some meditation beforehand. Those are quick, easy ways to kind of find peace, find balance, so we can communicate, articulate appropriately. So we're getting peppermint. This is really good. Actually, peppermint is such a great herb for abundance specifically. So we're getting a lot of confirmation on that abundance component. We have King of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. Peppermint is all about drawing in, it like specifically in magic, it's used like for money, to draw in money. And it's really good for cleansing, right? It's a digestive aid medicinally. And digestion is how we are transforming, right? It's our ability to process whatever we're taking in. And that can be on any level, right? Yeah, food, obviously, our digestive system, but this can also just be, again, that mental, emotional level where, maybe we do need to kind of sit with some of the things that have happened. This is a lot about processing through, acknowledging, bringing awareness, especially if you are struggling on more of the mental, emotional. Ayurveda is huge into awareness. I know it sounds so basic and so simple. I've probably been saying this a lot, but for me, it was like really profound understanding this, especially from a psychological perspective, right? Like when we have awareness, when we are honest with ourselves about relationships, dynamics, who and what is in our life, it helps us digest whatever is happening. It helps us find ways to kind of navigate and move through and deal with, especially the difficult people. And peppermint is really powerful for cleansing, for kind of bringing in, helping whatever we can't digest along, and then even just kind of cleansing out that residue, right? Those toxins that might be lingering in our environment. And when we're talking about abundance specifically, those lingering toxins are the things that are obstructing whatever this abundance is for you, right? Like this ability to kind of bring in that abundant growth, love, fertility into your life. Okay. Calendula, I love this. This is such a sunny herb, a sunny flower. It's very potent medicine. It's also a really good detoxifier, especially for the liver and the gallbladder. I know that's like a little, and it's also a wound healer as well, right? So the liver is the place that we do kind of, our body cleanses out all of the toxins. And when we're on overload, it's really hard to do. And Ayurveda looks at it like our body is that container for our consciousness, right? So when our body's not working well, our mind, our emotions are not working well, and, vice versa. It's really interesting to think about. It's what I love about Ayurveda is it really just kind of shows us how those mental, emotional factors, whatever we're dealing with in our environment, even astrologically, how they show up and how they play out in our life. And this week, it looks like we're really kind of struggling with places that we might kind of go back to old habits, old patterns, giving people situations, maybe the hall pass, or being I don't want to say too focused on your own success. I think it's a really important thing. It feels like it's serving you well this week. Just make sure that it's not, putting the blinders on your eye. This is a process, whatever this is. It feels like whatever this is, whether it's someone you've been dealing with for a while or it's a new situation coming in, it is revamping, it's resetting, it's allowing for new beginnings to come in that I do feel like it keeps saying they are abundant, right? It might not be, the jackpot given to you, but it's like, okay, we're going to work our way up to the jackpot type vibe. So getting rid of some of the pessimism, taking care of yourself, getting sleep, getting rest, continue to purge out the toxins, right? Continue to purge out the things that are just, kind of getting in the way or really just you don't need, especially, like I said, the calm before the storm. And just honor yourself, If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I love talking health, wellness. I love Ayurveda. It's super beautiful, super powerful. I know we have infinite resources on the internet today. You can always Google, but I am here. I love to connect. Oh, thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's, I think that's what draws me the most to holistic wellness. She's just saying it's interesting how I'm interpreting it. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but just kind of how it all connects, right? It is. And I think that's one of the things I love the most about Ayurveda. I have a food background, so I started off as a chef. And I would focus predominantly on clients who were using food as healing medicine. So I only really kind of investigated the food side of Ayurveda. But as I've had that moving through, I went through an Ayurvedic program. I'm finishing up my master's right now. It really has just continued to confirm as above, so below, as within, so without, like how we are all interwoven, interconnected. And what I love about that, not just to say those phrases, but what I love about it is it really does give us the power. It gives us the power to kind of dictate how we want our output to be. Yes, there's re-regulation. Yes, there's a lot of things in modern day that are not healthy or toxic or whatever. And, it's just part of life. It's part of what we have to navigate. I'm not here to ever try to impose being perfect or a robot. I have my guilty pleasures 100%. I can talk more about that in future readings. But the goal is just to, what I love, Ayurveda talks about aligning with natural law. It's like what our body innately does. And when we honor that, when we give it what it needs, that is when it functions not only at its optimal for our health and well-being, but that's, like I said, it's like where we're happy, we're satisfied, we're manifesting success, we're living out of fulfillment and not just like keeping up with the Joneses or whatever the hamster wheel promotes. So I am so glad. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found messages that resonated here for you. Definitely drop comments below. Drop me an email. I would love to connect and just say, hey, share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. Know that it blesses my heart, and I am sending love and blessings back to you. I'll be back tomorrow morning for Sunday Fun Day. Whoop, whoop. See you then. Have a good night.